Sadly, even when I was clobbered, I know most of you saw that video, me crying, and I was really in pain. But my bosses still wanted a story on timelines. They did not even want to know how I was faring after that clobbering with the police. Then they want first the story.
And what that has done for your mental health?
Well, for us, it's true we work under very intense pressure. I don't know whether we will call it the way the Gen Zs were asking whether the pressure increases or decreases. I can assure you that where we work, there is never minimum pressure. We always have maximum pressure. And I believe this goes across the workplaces, like my co-panelist here said, including that mama who is your house help. But for my case, giving it from a media perspective, for instance, is we work on very strict timelines. That delivery of news, for instance, has to happen at exactly 7 o'clock. You never tell viewers that Wacha Leo News ianze 7:15 kwa sababu Letoo alichelewa University of Nairobi. It has to be 7 o'clock, and for 9 o'clock, it has to be 9 o'clock. So with that time, the beating of timelines, it goes without saying that it really puts majority of us under lots of pressure. The sad bit is the supervisors or our editors do not want to know how you will get to the office or how that story will get on air at 7 o'clock. It has to be on air at 7 o'clock. You tell them hata nilipata traffic nikitoka parliament hapo Nyayo, hiyo roundabout ilifungwa, president alikuwa anapita. They will ask you, wewe hauko unajua president anapita hapo, utoke mapema ufike. So we again get into layers and layers and layers of pressure that for us, sometimes in one way or another, if not well taken care of, can easily slide into what you've just called as a toxic working environment that later on generates into a very dangerous way of, you will term as mental instability in a workplace where I don't feel like I'm being appreciated to the work I'm doing. And most importantly, that is the time we employees start looking at the pressure being put on us versus the salary we are receiving. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And before you put the mic down, the other thing that I know people do not have conversations about is covering of events like elections, then after that, especially in Kenya, post-election. How, from your experience, has that been for journalists?
Those are normally what we call as special events, including what is ongoing right now in the country, a very a lacuna kind of an exercise where you just want to see what is the end game. But the most important thing for us is what we go through when we are covering, starting with the very harsh time on the field. For instance, just recently, Gen Z-led protest, where you saw how we media practitioners were being clobbered by members of the police force. Sadly, even when I was clobbered, I know most of you saw that video, me crying, and I was really in pain. But my bosses still wanted a story on timelines. They did not even want to know how I was faring after that clobbering with the police. Then they want first the story, so that later on you can say, na ulikuwa sawa, tuliona mambo ilikuwa. So that is the kind of thing that happens. But sometimes we go through, in elections, for instance, we sleep like for 1 hour. You cover wapiga kura, you are told voting starts at 6 o'clock. But voters in places like Kisii, where in places like Western, where they are so much populated, they start coming in at 1 a.m. Some even sleep next to the polling stations. So that makes that for us, we have to make sure we wake up early. So sometimes we lack what we call that personal time to go and relieve yourself. For example, you come from a very harsh election coverage outside. When you are called to Nairobi thinking that you're going to rest, you are told go to Bomas. You'll be working in shifts at Bomas, because now whatever you've been doing at the field is now trickling into the Bomas of Kenya. So those are some of the things that in our career we see like they really push us to a corner. Without you, our viewers, leo tumesema Letoo enda off, leo hatutaki news. Nyinyi, when it gets to time for news, remote ndio hiyo, weka Citizen, you know. So that is how, but gladly sometimes we have started seeing our HR policies changing from time to time. For my organization, for instance, nowadays, and I had one of the speakers here talk about birthdays. Nowadays, we see we are told June babies. At the end of the month, all June babies are being treated in the office. So I think such kind of HR, interventions really help to ease that pressure in the workplaces. We are also seeing a lot of triangle flexibility in terms of engaging. We are seeing you bringing clinics inside and so closer to us. That really matters a lot for us in the employee sector. But sometimes the only thing that we still question the HR and the top HRs who are here is that some of the organizations who have 21 to 24 days maximum of leave every year, to us as employees, we are feeling like that is too little. That is too little. Working from January all the way to December, and you only have 24 days or 21 days to rest. As for me, I think HR bosses who are in charge of our HRs just change that policy kidogo, increase because clearly we work, because a lot of employers will expect you to work beyond the 5 o'clock that is set out. For instance, for us, we have to leave our offices when we are done with the news, say at 9 or at 7. So we work more extra hours, but we are not being compensated at the leave level. So I think that is a policy you need to check, so that hata sisi tusikie vizuri as we go to interact with our families, because majority of us leave our families at the rural areas, but we hardly interact with them in the long run. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hapo kwa 21 days ni kama hapo ndio umeshikia. Hapo kwa 24 hapo. Thank you. And I know Esther is waiting to just answer, but give me a minute and let me ask Shiv. Shiv, so Letoo has come off his very long day or long week, and then he's come to you, he's like, nimechoka. Mentally, I'm exhausted. From your perspective, what does the physical fitness, psychology, and even the benefits of what you do to help alleviate stress, even enhance the mood, and give a better mental clarity of some of the people that come to you seeking help after such a long day?
So actually, many of my clients, or rather most of my clients, would be in his situation. It's not people like me who are already in the industry as coaches. So most of my clients are corporate clients who are journalists, who are directors, CEOs in companies, and it's high pressure jobs basically, making decisions that are difficult, and long working hours, and high travel, a lot of travel. So the first thing I always say is you have to first take care of yourself before you take care of anyone else. Yeah, you have to set out your time no matter what. And I know not every office may have this, but I think we should take it upon us to now make the time. I think we all have the time to either enter a gym or do something at the house or go out for a walk before or after work. I know he just said during the special events is only like 1 hour, but how about the 80 other % of the time when there's no special events? Are you in a position to try and, wake up earlier? Meaning, if it's usually waking up at 5, how about you wake up at 4:30? And if meaning waking up at 4:30 means going to bed at 9:30, then also it's purposefully making yourself go to bed earlier. I know it's easier to sit on the couch and watch TV and binge, and also that's the time most of us are spending with our spouse or our family. But I think it becomes a habit when now you take it upon yourself to start putting the steps and basically what you call habit stacking. So you're starting with, all right, you're being intentional about how you'll handle your wellness. So I keep saying it's about the habit stacking where it's at night I am putting my clothes aside on the side table. When I go to bed, I'm putting my phone in the bathroom on the highest alarm, so I have to wake up to go that side. And when I wake up, I'm going for my cold shower, and then my clothes are there, and now I'm out. So it's like just making things possible for you to succeed. And these small successes are also just building your confidence and your consistency into heading to another difficult thing. So it's basically trying to do this very many difficult things, from just waking up earlier than usual to maybe it's a cold shower to just drinking a glass of water first thing in the morning to actually getting to the gym. So we set very small goals that are extremely achievable for my clients. So it's like if you're a first time client, my goal for you is just to make it to the gym even twice a week. That is an achievement. You've never been to the gym before or you've never worked out. So do things that are so easy for you to achieve that you start ticking off these boxes, and these boxes become so easy to achieve that now you're like, after a month, you're like, this was so simple. I think I can now step it up. And the stepping up is, all right, we haven't even touched your food yet. So now we're only asking you at breakfast to not take 4 teaspoons of sugar, but just take 2 teaspoons of sugar. So it's just making these very small changes that are goals and that you're achieving in the short term that lead to mid-term goals, and obviously there's an end term. End term meaning there's long-term goals, but at the same time, what I do is a lifestyle, and I think everyone should incorporate it within the lifestyle. Yeah.
Okay, great, great. I love that.